the Golden Ratio, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the plants in my apartment and the building that my lab is in. So I'm just going to be giving you a quick overview of what I have in my collection. It's a lot of just different kinds of houseplants, and I get a lot of them from Facebook and just buying from smaller plant shops just because I feel like it's cheaper that way and definitely easier to support other plant lovers. Also, I'm going to be including the either scientific or common names of the plants that I mention in the description box below, so feel free to check that out if you're curious about any of my plants. My umbrella tree I actually got from someone on Facebook, and then I realized that the umbrella tree had some pests. I think it was like spider mites or something, but then because of that I was able to get her for free essentially, because I was supposed to pay $15 for her, which was like a super good deal because she is variegated, which is really nice and in a really big pot. But because of the pests and the fact that the person was trying to move and like get rid of all of his plants, I was able to get her for free, which was super nice, and I think she's really liking it here in the apartment. This is my Monstera Siltepecana. She's doing really well. I put her on a moss pole. I've taken a lot of cuttings from her. I actually grew her from just one cutting somewhere in the base, and then it's been around like 2 years, and then she's grown this big. This is my Philodendron Rojo Congo. I think she's really nice. She's kind of facing this way more, so I'm trying to get her to face the other way. This is my marble green Pothos. I also grew her from just one cutting, and I'm trying to get her to gain more roots instead of just from that one part. This is my sensitive plant. I got her from a plant biology class I took last semester, which is really fun to just touch and then see her get like really shy. I think that's adorable. And I have some more cuttings I'm propagating from my Monstera Siltepecana, watermelon Peperomia that I'm rehabbing, Manjula, Pothos, Cebu Blue, and then my Dorstenia. She wasn't super happy because I went back home for 2 weeks, so she's recovering from that, but hopefully she'll make it through. This is my spider plant. I've had her for around a year. I really like spider plants, but I ended up killing my first one because I went home for COVID and it just couldn't stand the move. But I think she's finally maturing, and then she's putting off this little offshoot with some flowers blooming right now. And I think she's gonna have some little babies come out from there, which is really exciting to see. And then over here I have my Heartleaf Philodendron. She's doing pretty well. Lots of new growth, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. And then over here I just have some storage. It doesn't look super nice, but I also have some Heartleaf Philodendron propagations, and then my 2 Alocasias. I'm still just trying to see like what exactly they like about this apartment, just because I'm not sure how they're doing, and this is my first time with Alocasias, so I really don't want to kill them. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly to do. And these are the plants that I have in my apartment right now. It's a south-facing window, so it gets a lot of really great light throughout the day. And you can probably tell that some of the plants really like it here, but others, like the Dorstenia, might not. So I might end up moving them to a different window or a different location later on. So now we're going to move on to the plants that I have in the building that my lab is in. To begin, I have a Monstera propagation. It's just a 1-leaf cutting, and it's slowly growing roots, and I think it might grow some leaves eventually, but I'm just going to clean it off and just kind of give it a nice rinse because I haven't done that in a little bit, so it's long overdue. But yeah, I'm just washing off the roots and just making sure that everything's fine, just because the previous owner noticed that it had some pests, so she just asked for me to just make sure that it doesn't have any more like gnats or anything on the roots anymore. But I have in the same container a Pothos propagation, so I'm just using the Pothos as kind of a rooting hormone just because they release different hormones to help plants root. So I was hoping that it would help the Monstera Deliciosa root faster. I think it might be helping. I'm not really too sure, but right now it's been doing its job, so I'm just keeping them together in the same pot, which is a really cute sloth pot, as you can tell. It used to be a mug, but I kind of took it as a planter now. So this Dracena I got for free because it just wasn't making the previous owner super happy, but I think it's in a pot that's a bit too big, so I'm going to repot it into a smaller pot just because of how small it feels compared to this pot. And I feel like it probably doesn't drain super well in this pot because it's supposed to be a self-watering planter, but I personally don't really like those kinds of planters. I'd rather just like see the water drain out on its own. So that's going to be a repotting for another day. These plants have been here for a while now, and I'm not sure exactly whose they are, but they're so lovely. I always just admire them and feel really excited when I look at them. I wish I could stake this Monstera up. I think it would look so nice with the stake, but all the other plants are super happy, and this Pilea has put out so many new babies. If you just look inside, it's just so many. So now we're going on to the second floor of the building, where I have some of the plants that are good with some neglect. So now I'm trying to take care of them before I move them into my apartment. These two plants were given to me by a friend just to babysit for a while, but I've had them for, I think, over a year now, but they're really enjoying the south-facing window, so I've just been keeping them here, and I think they might need a bit of a watering right now, but I rarely water them. This actually is a plant I grew from seeds that I germinated from an orange. I didn't think it was going to work, but it actually sprouted from 2 seeds. I kind of neglected it, which is why this leaf is really sad, but overall I think it's doing really well considering I didn't really expect it to germinate at all. These 2 planters are my succulent propagation stations. So this bowl I actually 3D printed at the design workshop on my campus. It was really easy to do just because I stole the design from someone and just printed it out, but the succulents are really enjoying it, I think. I'm excited for them to get bigger, but yeah, they just came from 1 leaf cuttings I got, and then I just have been letting them do their own thing. Then over here I have like assorted succulents and some string of pearls. They're struggling a bit because I'm not really great with succulents, but I feel like they're okay, so it's fine with me. And that's a wrap on all the plants I currently have. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm sure I'm going to be talking more about plants, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching.